Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the Dental Up Podcast, brought to you by Keating Dental Arts, a full-service, award-winning dental laboratory. Each week, you'll learn tips and techniques from real-world dentists, bringing you in-depth interviews, motivating stories, current events, and sports. Here's your host, Sean Keating.
Hey everyone, Sean here. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Up Podcast. Our guest this week is a graduate from the University of Michigan Dental School. He is a member of the ADA, the Texas Dental Association, and the Academy of General Dentistry. Taking pride in his work, his practice features the most updated technology available, including intraoral scanners and digital x-rays. Practicing from Melissa, Texas, please welcome Dr. Sanjay Ramoliya, DDS. How's it going, Dr. Ramoliya?
Going well. Beautiful day. Nice talking to you, Sean.
Oh, dude, that's so cool, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, you're taking today. I know how busy you are. You got a busy practice. You got a couple busy practices, but thanks again so much. And, I always like to start off talking a little bit about sports. And I know you're a massive Michigan fan. And tell me a little bit about your likes with Michigan. Which sports you like? Football, baseball? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm a big football guy. We started out pretty bad, losing the first week in South Bend. So,
tough.
a lot of hopes were crushed the first week, but we got the rest of the year to work on and getting it in the right direction. I'm a big football fan. Went to Michigan for both undergrad and a dental school, and 8 years, didn't miss one football game. So I'm a big football junkie.
That's awesome.
Go to a lot of NCAA tournaments wherever the Michigan plays. Last year we got to the finals and lost. Yep. But hey, we made it to the final. We were the second best team, so still better than a lot of them. But it's been Michigan's been good to me, and happy to be in Texas now.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I was watching that game. I was thinking of you, man, because I know you're a big football guy. Heck, we've been doing these fantasy football leagues together for many, many years, and I know your passion. And but man, I just hate it at the beginning of the season to lose that first one. And, Harbaugh, man, this is supposed to be his year. I think you guys were like 6 or 7.
Year. Yeah. Well, and the thing is with him, these are his guys. These are handpicked guys. This is his team at this point. He's playing with his own groceries. If you're gonna cook, and you buy your own groceries, at some point you gotta put a good meal on the table, right?
Exactly. And
you got to buy everything in this thing. You got the money, you got the program, you got the recruits. Yep. And somehow he hasn't found a quarterback. The offense has struggled, but the defense has been solid, top 5 in the nation the last few years. So
yeah, I think so.
I think eventually he'll get it done, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough. And with Notre Dame, man, I didn't think they were going to be that good. And they looked pretty darn good. That coach has got
that defense surprised me. Yeah, that defense surprised me. Hey, Harbaugh was, obviously he's a Michigan man, but he made his name in the coaching down in San Diego where you guys are.
I used to watch him all the time, and what he did there was just it was just amazing. And then even after that, everywhere he's won, he's won.
Stanford
and then the 49ers, didn't they go to the Super Bowl with them and stuff? They
went to the Super Bowl, lost. Yeah, hey, he took Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. Okay,
exactly.
That's the quarterback that none of the NFL owners want to hire right now.
Yeah,
he took that guy to the Super Bowl. That just shows you how much he got out of that guy. And he benched Alex Smith.
Yes,
he benched Alex Smith, so the guy's got it. He's got it. It's just he just can't seem to translate it to the college game because the younger guys that he's playing with, and the quarterback is his number one problem at Michigan. Yeah. He just hasn't had a quarterback, but he can't find one. He's got to find one.
Oh, I know.
He's got to find that 16-year-old kid in high school right now in 2 years that he can come to Michigan and be that guy,
Yep. He should get that Jalen Hurts from Alabama, man, if that guy ain't going to play. But again, I don't know how great he is even. You look at some of the guys that just came out like Baker Mayfield and, Rosen and, even Darnold. Darnold's going to be starting for the Jets. But I don't know. I just, even too, when we had Goff, his first year, that dude was horrible. I mean, I'm like, how is he the number one pick? And then Wentz went number 2. And I'm like, dude, Wentz is like the prototypical perfect pro quarterback. But then look what happened to him. He kind of got knocked up. And then Nick Foles, who was part of the Rams, he went and led him to the Super Bowl, Super Bowl MVP. And now he can't win a preseason game for the life of him. And he's going to be starting. And so
I still think Wentz will eventually win a Super Bowl on his own. I really think he's that good. The dude I look at Carson Wentz as a rich man's Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are a poor man's Phillip Rivers, he's a rich man's Phillip Rivers. He's a quarterback that comes from a school that's not very well known for in a college football. It's just one of those guys, but was buried under that program. They looked at him, drafted him overall number 2, just like Phillip Rivers was drafted, number 2. And I think it's just one of those things that those two guys come from a programs, but they have the real talent to shine on a program that they otherwise nobody would know these programs. You know what I mean?
Exactly. At Purdue.
And so I think he's a rich man's Phillip Rivers, and everybody would take rich man's Phillip Rivers because the dude is phenomenal, and they might even have a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year. I think.
Yeah.
They'll always be San Diego Chargers. They'll never be LA Chargers. They'll always be San Diego Chargers in those powder blues. That's what I'm going to remember.
I love that powder blue. That's my favorite color, man. And I've watched them, and because we lost the Rams for 20 plus years, so we were big Charger fans. And hey, let us down every year in the playoffs. I mean, they went in 95, they went to that Super Bowl and they got spanked, and it's just, God, they just let you down and year after year. So I'm kind of glad that we got our Rams back, and hopefully we can win some big ones with these guys. And yeah, it's just amazing. You even think with Drew Brees, man, he came out of Purdue, the Boilermakers. I mean, Purdue's not really known for their football program, really. But and then what was Wentz? He was like North Dakota State or something. Yeah. Like, what the heck?
Well, the thing is, and you guys drafted, Phillip Rivers while you had Drew Brees had the injury, and then he went, and but I mean, everything just. Yeah. Just like, I think everything turned out well for on that situation. Phillip Rivers got to do what he did with the San Diego, and and then obviously Drew Brees revitalized the New Orleans to see because of Drew Brees. I can't believe I'm a Lions fan, and if Saints can win a championship, Lions can win a championship. It's gonna happen. I don't know when. It's gonna happen.
You've always loved those Detroit Lions too, and those guys. Yeah. Last time I liked them was when they had Barry Sanders. Man, that guy was so exciting when he played, and the whole Megatron thing with. It's kind of tough.
We wasted the careers of two greats, Megatron and Sanders. Man, if we gotten something right during those two guys, we should have had a big one. But.
And then what about the quarterback? You still got that same quarterback in Detroit?
Yeah, we can still got Matthew Stafford. He's good. He's pretty good. He's just not in that extremely top tier. Yeah. Like, he's not your Aaron Rodgers, your Tom Brady level guy, or Drew Brees level, where he can just carry the team on his own. I still feel like he needs a good defense for him to win. Yep. He's good. He makes the team a hell of a lot better. He's better quarterback we've had in the last 50 years, probably. Yeah. So I'm not complaining, but he's not in that elite tier where he can take a crappy team and make it happen. Yeah. He's just not there.
But they're going to need a defense because defense wins championships, like they say, and that's just something that you can't do it all.
You guys can do that with Jared Goff, because you know what? Jared Goff ain't that team.
No.
That team, Jared Goff is just a conductor. He doesn't know
exactly. Hey, our defense, man, with Sue and Talib and all the new guys we got, and we just got Darnold on back. Aaron signed, and
he got paid.
It's gonna be a freaking shut it down.
Yeah, he got paid. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Hey, Sue was when he was with Lions, we had the number 2 defense before he signed that big contract with the Miami, and we went to the playoffs that year. We were good. We had a chance. We were getting close, and then the problem with the NFL is, though, if you get these guys, we're getting close to the getting paid type contract, and they're just gonna move.
Yeah, it's kind of, I bet, yeah, with Sue, he was just the nastiest player, dirty player, and I never liked him, and now he's on our team. I love the guy. You know what?
Just like everybody else, rooting for the laundry.
Hey, same thing with like.
It's rooting for the laundry. It's not really about the team or the players. Give me the laundry, and I'll root for put any guy in it.
We want rings, baby. Yeah, just like LeBron. I hated that dude. Oh my God! Every team you go to,
everybody's a LeBron fan.
Pompous ass. I don't love, but now as Lakers, I love him. King James, heck yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah. I've always been that jump on the bandwagon, baby. No, hey, it's gonna change. I mean, I was the biggest Laker fan going down to Forum for years, and then Staples Center, and it's been 4 or 5 years since, even with Kobe towards the end, it's like, dude, I can't watch you. He just shoot up 50 shots a game, and it's just like he had no one surrounding him, and then they got rid of Paul Gasol, and it's like that was it. But so now it's neat. I can't wait for the Lakers starting again basketball. But man, it's football time, and I'm just so tomorrow night, baby, Thursday night it starts, man. Who we got tomorrow? It's like
Atlanta and Philly.
Yeah, Atlanta and Philly.
It's gonna be a good game. I football's my game.
Yeah.
It's a game.
I know it is, baby. Well, that's awesome. Sanjay, you're the man, baby. I think that's the longest sports we talked. We better get on some dentistry. These dentists are like, what the heck is this? These guys are talking sports, man. We want to hear some dentistry. Come on. So, all right, baby. So let's dental up. So tell me, doctor, why did you get into dentistry, and at what point did you think, I want to be a dentist?
I came to the United States in year 2000. April 10. I remember that day. It was a cloudy day. I landed in Dallas Airport. Didn't speak a word of English. I was 17 years old.
No kidding.
And I had a lot of dental problems. Year and a half before I came here. I come from a place where most people don't have teeth by the time they're 45, 50 years old. My dad has had no real teeth. Obviously, you know that you did his entire implant case.
Yes, we did.
The 14 implants, upper and lower. We got, but I was just basically not educated about the oral health at all where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
I was educated right when I was about 16 years old how to take care of my teeth and how I can prevent cavities by a fine dentist in India.
Okay.
And first time I went to the dentist, I had 17 cavities in my mouth.
No kidding.
I mean, yeah, I loved sugar canes, but part of it was just education. I didn't know what I was doing would be that bad.
Yeah.
I was eating it all throughout the day and stuff like that. So I came to America, but you don't think how the life's gonna go. So you come in, you start working at McDonald's or whatever, and then I basically started on and started learning English as second language classes. I was always good at math and engineering. I was able to, lucky enough, got good grades and scholarship with the Pfizer in biomedical engineering. I did my undergrad in that. And then I worked a year for Medtronics. And then I went back to the job that I thought I would love and like doing and I would have fun doing, was dentistry. So I applied to Michigan. I got in and did school for 4 years, 2010 graduated. And that's kind of how it started. It was basically more personal, more along the line of it. Obviously it provides a good lifestyle and all that as well. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm trying to change the world in that way, but it's a job that I enjoy a lot. Putting a smile on people's faces and, it provides a well for my family. And it's a job that has been very influential in my life in the sense that we finished my dad's case only 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago.
Yep.
And my entire life, my dad's never been able to eat the food that he's been able to eat for the last year and a half. He's had 5 to 6 teeth my entire life. My mom made always 2 meals. So sometimes we take teeth for granted, but if you don't have it, it can get pretty expensive to get them.
Oh, I bet. Oh, that's totally true. And I remember when we did that full rehab. That's amazing, man. What a story to come here just like that. Can't even speak the language, man. It just shows you, man, America is the land of hope for sure. Anyone can do anything here. And I just truly believe
it. Yeah, this is the greatest country in the world. I don't know a better place, or I can't even imagine a better place that exists that you can go. A kid comes in with nothing but a dream and just do whatever you want. Exactly. And I moved into a small Texas town, opened a practice, didn't know a person, put my name up, shingles, a starter practice at 11. The economy was just turning around out of school. And I said, you know what? Hey, people need dentists. If they need teeth problems, I'll be the guy. And I had people told me, some of my friends told me, do you really want to go to small Texas town? And I said, no, I believe in people.
Yep.
When people need, they will treat you fair. And I have been given fair shot in state of Texas, in Melissa, Texas. And, obviously I opened a second practice, as you know, about a year and a half ago. And that's all because, the community has given me a lot. And when you treat people right, they give back to you. You live by the small town, you die by the small town. But no connection, small town, and I've been able to make it work.
God, that's so cool, Sanjay. I love hearing that, man. That's just a dream come true for sure. Tell me about Melissa, Texas, man. Hey, our doctors in Texas, man, and it's always been that way in all my years. It's just a robust state, man, and they just always seem to be booming, and quite a few different doctors in Texas, and they're all success stories, it seems like, in some small towns and some are in the bigger towns. But tell me a little bit about Melissa. Now, how'd you find that? And where is that located, like from Dallas or, Austin? Or tell me a little bit about the area of
Melissa, Texas is a suburb of a suburb. We're about 45 to 50 minutes from Dallas, city Dallas. We're the first town that once you start driving north, you get to a town called McKinney, which is going to it's going to open this year. Okay. The most expensive football stadium for the high school team, about $68 million. It's right behind my house. Yep, that's what we do. We build football stadiums for high schools here. It's going to be the most expensive. But you drive north, and we're about 20 minutes north of that. And any town north of me or east west, it's just mostly your ranch communities, your ranchers, your farmers, your small town people. You're a lot of people that like the small town lifestyle, those parents, but they drive. Mom or dad will drive to the suburb or Plano or something for work because they want to live in a 2 or 4 acres. Okay. Or something like that. It's a very old town. It's growing a lot because a lot of new people have obviously moving in right now. And if you want a lifestyle that allows you a little bit more land, a little bit more privacy than your typical city, your neighbors on every corner, then this is a place for it. Crime is almost non-existent. Everybody knows everybody. And
everyone carries a gun too, don't they?
Yeah, everybody carries a gun. I mean, at my house, at my office, I have 5 employees. They're all Texas people except for one. And I am the only transplant, and I'm the only one without a gun.
That's so
I'm
funny.
the only one, and that's not because I didn't grow up with it. Yeah. I go shoot guns with my friends and all the time, but 3 of my assistants carry a concealed handgun at all times.
That's what that. Good for them.
Raised in Texas. Yeah, they and the thing is, it's one of those things that obviously it's a topic that a lot of the times I have no side on that topic, the Second Amendment. I'm right down the middle. I have friends on both sides of it. I don't really, but personally, I think the people that tend to carry the ones in my office, these people grew up with it since they were 4, 5, 6 years old. They were trained. For them, it's purely protection. Obviously, you put that gun into somebody who's mentally deranged, you get bad outcomes. But these people, but these people always have that with them. That's what they're living in small towns. They're driving in these small country roads. Sometimes they can't get a cop for a long time.
Take an hour to get out
north
there.
of my thing or west of my town, sometimes you don't get a gas station for 35, 40 miles.
Oh, yeah.
Or an hour, You're in a different part of the world. You're not next to. It's a huge state with 4 cities, but there's a lot of smaller towns. Yeah. And you start to understand the life that the ranchers and some of my patients that tell me stories, you understand why they need to have some of the things that they do because they're not always around places.
Absolutely. Now, is there a lot of like oil derricks? I always think of Texas, man, and like seeing
the
oil's
been good. Yeah, oil's been good, but it's been down, with the prices coming down. Some of the oil jobs are struggling. Not a lot of it, and the most of the oil is in the western, shell, by the Odessa and Midland and stuff. And so a lot of these people, so I have some people that live in my town. They would go on for a week work there for a week or 2 weeks and come back. Like a lot of the guys would go do that, but their family would still be living in this area because where I think it's called the Bakken Shell or whatever, where that is.
Yeah.
They just don't have a lot of housings, or it's not really meant for like family in that way.
Okay.
So a lot of these people just go, but some of them have told me that it's slowed down quite a bit over the last few years. But with the oil prices starting to go up,
seems like
they keep me up on the oil prices. They tell me when they come in for their cleanings, hey, I'm going to be going back out for work. Looks like oil prices going up. It's a love-hate relationship. When oil prices go up, some of the jobs come back, and then people don't like paying for extra gas.
That's so funny. What about are they fracking oil out there, or is that shale? You know how they have to frack it?
Yeah, fracking is big in Texas and Oklahoma. Yeah. And I'm only 40 minutes from Oklahoma border.
No kidding. Oh, you baby.
Yes.
There's some football out there. I mean, what about Layton, South Lake, Texas? Isn't that a really good football high school? Or
It is. South Lake is good. South Lake is your typical rich Texas high school.
Yeah. That's my buddy. I know I got a buddy who lives out here. He's worked for Edward Jones, does my 401k.
Yeah. That's an Edward Jones stop high school.
Oh, is it?
But you got your Allen Eagles, which is the town that I lived in for a little bit, which is not too far from my office in McKinney. But Allen Eagles, your Kyler Murray and a couple of guys who are starting for Oklahoma this year.
Yeah.
They are your Allen products. Allen and McKinney, Plano, those high schools are going up big time in terms of the football programs, because the trend has been people have been moving more north. Now your South Lake is still one of your older, very rich history, but also very expensive town. So a lot of the new families don't always move in there unless they have some connections to the area.
It's some big time money.
Versus where I'm at, or where when you go to the northern side of Dallas, you just see a lot of transplants. I mean, my practice has lots of people from California moving in right now because Toyota is moving their headquarters from California to Plano.
No kidding.
And that's only 30 minutes from my office. And so I have at least, say, 30 patients right now who live in my town, but they work for Toyota headquarters now. They do HR jobs or whatever. One of the things they've told me is that they were just tired of living in a small area. They love living in 2 acres and paying half the price of the housing that they used to pay in California. And what they would have never dreamed of owning 2 acres.
It's so nuts. We live on like a 4,000 square foot lot with a 2,000 square foot house. I mean, that's the way it is. And it's like ridiculous. Like the medium house in Orange County, the average medium house is $800 and some odd $1,000 now. It's like, what the heck happened? I mean, our children.
Yeah, I'm never moving to California, just so you know.
What can you get? What's like an average home, there, like a, 3 or 4 bedroom home, couple thousand square feet. How much is it in Melissa to get a home?
1,000 square feet homes are going to be very hard to find. Most houses start at 3,000 square feet.
Okay, say 3,000. We're not used to that, but what's
3,000 square foot home with all bells and whistles. Typical. You can get it around 450.
Okay.
On a suburb, more South Lake will be more around this 500,000-600,000. My sister lives in San Francisco, north of San Francisco Bay. She's got an 1,800 square foot home that they paid $1.2 million for. You can get it in my area if it was available for sale for about $250.
Can you believe that?
Same neighborhoods. I'm talking about like same schools, same type of safety, same type of services.
Yeah.
We're not talking down-run neighborhoods or anything like that. We're talking about same level of everything, but no mountains, no bay views.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss out on some stuff. No wine country nearby. So we give up a lot to get what we get, but you can always take a flight.
Oh, absolutely.
Texas.
And you can always drive.
I'm a big Texas guy. I like Texas a lot. I tell everybody to move in down here and come visit my practice and be my patients.
That's my baby. That's Sanjay. I love that, man. No, you got a passion for sure, man. You definitely do. So tell me a little bit about when you started out. Did you go in as an associate, or did you start your own practice? Tell me a little bit when you got out of dental school, and tell me about that.
It's a little long story, but I'll make it very quick. Basically, when I got out of dental school, I always had this mentality. So my dad always worked for somebody my whole life. Okay. He always got a paycheck from somebody who signed for him. And I always wanted to be the guy who had my own destiny. I didn't ever want a boss. That's not always a good thing. Having a boss is good at times. but I'm a hot-headed guy, and I knew that my personality suited for being an owner. So I was in a deal with the older dentist in New Braunfels, Texas, which is right between the San Antonio and Austin.
Okay.
And I was going to buy his practice. So I had talked to him in my senior year of dental school. I moved down there. I moved my family. My parents were staying with me at the time. They were struggling. So, and you want to come out of dental school, you have a lot of debt and everything. He told me he was ready to retire, wanted to sell the practice. We had supposed to have a buyout done by December of my first year. So I went into practice in July. By December comes and he takes a 3-month vacation. He comes back and he realizes that he's not ready to retire. And
man.
now, and then we had a 90-day notice we were supposed to give each other that, hey, if it doesn't work out. So I give my 90-day notice in end of December, right at the beginning of the year. And he tells me not to show up to work the next day because he obviously had been working full time on his own in this practice for the last 30 years anyway.
Yeah.
And so here I am with $315,000 in debt with no income. I took a pay cut just because I was going to buy the office in New Braunfels that I don't know anybody. And that's when I decided that was the end of it. And I was going to create my own
No kidding. Good
future.
for you.
And whatever happens, if I fail, is on me. But I told myself I would never buy an existing practice ever again. That's just because of me, young, naive, stupid Sanjay coming from school that just didn't really care. So I found a town. That's how I found Melissa. I started looking in Dallas because I had some friends from dental school there. And I would just go on the weekend. I went for 4 weekends. I would drive around all over Dallas and look for towns where, I look at them and say, do these people need dentists like me? What I can provide for them, and could I be successful here? And I narrowed it down to 3 towns: Salina, Savannah, and Melissa. And then I ended up just choosing Melissa, just talked to the mayor, and sounded like a good idea. And I just put my name up shingles and called it a day. And that's how I started.
Oh, what a great story, dude. It's a balls, man. I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean,
Sometimes you got to create your own way, man.
Yeah.
Nobody buying somebody else's dream was something I realized that when the doctor came back and told me that he wasn't ready to retire and I need to associate for 5 more years, I realized that I was in somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
I need to be in my own dream, create my own dream. I don't need to live somebody else's dream.
Well, and I was actually talking to a couple of my guys here, helping with the podcast or younger kids. And I was just telling the situation of, I worked for someone for like 17 years right out of school. And, you'll live paycheck to paycheck. And, even when you start making more money, it's a good thing. And, to stay with someone and learn and do your thing. But you're never really... I just think, America was built with, the entrepreneurship of people that either got let go of their jobs or they had a big enough huevos to start their own thing. But the best thing to do, if you can, is to start your own business and whatever you do to be the boss, because
it was hard. First year was hard. I made $18,000 my first year as a dentist.
That's crazy.
Most dentists would make more than that as an associate right now.
Yep.
And they would think I'm stupid. Yes. Probably. You know what? 8 years, fast forward 7 years, and I wouldn't trade a damn thing. I would do it all over again the same way. Yes, the first couple of years of struggle, I made a lot of mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I was hot-headed, but I did the right things. I did right by my patients, and I built a long-term patient base who was standing by me. And, if you do the right thing, treat people the right way, it will work out.
It will. It really will.
Work harder. It's not easy. It's not easy. But it will work out.
That's so cool. No, it's so true. And you know what? Being your own boss, big risk, but big rewards, man.
That's right.
Big
risk, big reward. Everything goes down is on you.
Yep.
But when the rewards happen, it's you too.
Exactly.
Both ways.
Yep. It really is.
But if you can do it, like you said, it's not for everybody. But if you can do it and can take that plunge in your family situation or whatever allows you, there's nothing wrong with taking in the plunge.
That's awesome, dude. No, I love that. So on your practice then, so was it a build out or did you buy something? Tell me how that worked out. And,
so I rented a space in an existing shell. This building was built in 2007, and then the recession hit. So the space was open for a while.
Okay.
And I said, it's for me, I guess. So I rented the space. And then we did the build out in there. And just for the general dentist, we got 4 operatories, a pen, a staff, digital x-rays and things like that. And that's kind of basically, it started kind of from scratch, but I don't own my building. The building existed. I renovated the inside. It was just basically a shell. There was nothing in there. We put everything in there.
That's awesome, dude. So what about on your next practice? What made you want to do that? Is it a different town? Is it far away?
So this is in McKinney. So one of the things, I am not sure where our profession is going, just personal opinion of it. My feelings are, I have a very loyal patient base right now. But in my town, we have 3 dentists. We're all private dentists.
Yep.
But the profession is changing, as you know. I'm sure it's changing on the lab side of it as well, where I don't know where we'll be. And I'm a completely fee-for-service dentist in this small town. Okay. I'm the only guy that's fee-for-service. The other doctors also take PPOs. Okay. Now, we do take assignment. But more as time is going on, I'm realizing that I don't want to be 45 years old, get caught where some chains move in, or corporations moving in, and then forced to compete with them on the prices and not have another option. So the second office I opened, it's a PPO office. Okay. And I'm just hedging my bets. It's more of it's the same philosophy. We treat our patients the same. We use the same thing. Actually, we use your lab for everything, with both offices. We're not changing anything. And we get a better fee schedule in that town because it's a bigger town. In Melissa, we just wouldn't get the same schedule anyway because they go based on zip codes. Yep. And so we basically, and I just wanted to get a partner, an associate, more like an associate, just to get some flexibility. I love traveling. I love seeing the family when I go overseas. And it's harder to go away for more than 10 to 14 days from the office when you're the only owner.
Exactly. And there's
no
money.
You're the only man, So being the man is a good thing, but having a second man is also not a bad thing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No, I always tell the story about my brother, man. He's an endodontist, and he's the only guy, and when he leaves, there's no money to be made when he goes on vacation. And he's like, Sean, when you leave, you got all your people working. So, man, you're doing pretty good. And I'm thinking, yeah, it kind of sunk in. Like, yep, I can go to Cabo and I can say, oh, what? I did 120 grand today? What the heck? And I'm on the beach having a margarita.
Yeah. No, and it's good to, it's good to, it comes with a lot of work, right? Second practice is not for everybody.
No, it isn't.
You put in a lot of work, but you put upfront work. In 5 years, it'll start to pay dividend, and then when you get a flexibility. But I wanted to do it while I was young. I didn't want to get caught with a situation at 40 when I didn't have an option.
Yeah, absolutely.
And 40 is not old. Don't get me wrong, but 40 is when you get complacent.
No, it does. Actually, I left my company where I worked at the lab, and I started my own lab at 40, and it's a tough thing, man. I dyed my hair and tried to make myself look younger, and I was beat. But
you dyed your hair, man.
I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger with kind of orangish hair.
The picture of you dyeing your hair, man, before and after. I deserve that. You can send it to my email. You know my email.
You can pull that up. I got a Dental Town. Right. I got a Dental Town cover of me like in 2006, and shows me with this orange hair, my goatee's all bleached out, and yeah.
You started the same year your lab, the year I started dental school.
No, I started in 2002, my lab, but
okay.
Yeah, we won.
6 is one. Okay.
Yeah, we were voted the best Crown and Bridge dental lab in the nation in 2006, and that was quite.
Speaking about your lab, I'll tell you, I use it for my family. You've done 2 crowns on my mom, 1 implant crown on my mom, some in my sister, some in my friends. 2 of my own crowns in my mouth are made by you.
Yeah, baby.
And my dad's entire mouth is created, entire work is created by you guys.
Oh, so, man.
I use it for me personally. You guys have been doing great work. And I use, like I said, you're probably the only lab I have used. I was using a local lab for a little bit, but a lot of inconsistent result, and the consistency is beyond phenomenal. I may send a crown back 1 out of 100, if ever.
Yeah, no, you
guys,
just
the margins, the consistency. I try to do my best to give you the perfect impression.
And you do. You do. You practice. You're a freaking awesome dentist, dude. You really are, and so young into the field. But the way you push yourself and the way you set yourself out and said, I'm going to go for this, and look at you, man. You got a passion for it, and that's just awesome, because for a lot of guys now, they need to be in the trenches with somebody for 5-10 years years just to figure it out. You went just balls to the walls, and I love that, man. It's rare and happens.
I'm still figuring it out. It's just people don't know I'm figuring it out.
Nah, it's confidence. You got to have it. Even I'm the same way. When I didn't know it too much, I thought I did, and I, did my best to do it, and that's how you get experience, and that's how it works. And now, good for you, man. No, that is really neat. I can see you opening up another practice in another little town and getting a couple more associates, and I could just see it because you're a real good businessman, and you know your stuff. But that's awesome. So, how do you market? Do you? Oh, well, you're fee for service. So, and on both of them, how do you drive patients to the practice? Do you do social media, mailers? Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm an old soul. So I started out with mailers 2011, 12, 13. That's how I got base of my practice established.
Okay.
I'm probably not. I'm slowly getting one of my employees getting up with the social media, but we weren't really active in social media up until 6 months ago, I would say, even then. And right now, it's not really our big main factor. But basically, my belief is that if you get your first 500 patients and you do everything in your power to make them feel like they are, and not just make them feel like, just treat them like they're your family. You're going to do everything that's needed for them. And the rest of them just came because it was 500 just being here, and their friends, their families, people just talking about it. I'll tell you a story. I started doing, added ortho to my office because we have a lot of younger family. 3.5 years ago. First year, I started 5 cases. Second year, I started 12 cases. Third year, 38, and this year we're on pace to start 100.
Yeah. Are you doing that fast 6-month stuff or?
No, this is comprehensive. This is a conventional comprehensive ortho that I'm doing on your class 1, class 2s on a kids between the age of, say, anywhere between 9 all the way to 18, 25, whatever.
Kidding.
I do very few adults. No, I have invested well over 1,000 hours in CEs.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
So I went fit all in. The only thing, but what I'm, saying is that's all without almost any marketing on the ortho. The other day I had a lady come in. She literally made an appointment on a Tuesday, and she wanted me to put the braces on her daughter on Wednesday.
No kidding.
Literally, price didn't matter. Nothing mattered. She already made up her mind. And I was like, I've never had a new patient come in and say, give me braces tomorrow. That just doesn't happen. Yeah. Usually you come in, you do the records, you go over the cases. That's kind of how I do it in my office. And I'm like, how do you know you want to work with me? I've never seen you people. She's like, oh, you did my friend's daughter's case.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Word of mouth, man, and internal.
And so that's the key. The key is that if you treat these 100 cases, all right, and they have friends, families, sisters, brothers, daughters. And the thing with braces is, and not also with your crown and bridge, if you're doing anterior work, there you're walking advertisement. You can do your brother was an orthodontist, can do a perfect root canal with an MB2. Yeah. That patient will never be able to tell other patient that my endodontist did the best root canal ever with an MB2.
Yeah, exactly. Because
this is not going to happen, right? But you got your braces on. Everybody knows you go to the soccer practice. Kid's mom's going to talk, who's going where. Oh, he did a great work, whatever. Same thing with every time I've done a restorative work, you get a patient or two because of that, because these people, when they get a smile done, they have their friends who look at them and like, oh my God, that's a beautiful smile. I want that.
Yep, exactly. And they tell 10 people, and it's just the golden rule in a way.
So most of that is that we're doing some marketing, a little bit of mailers. We've never really done Google AdWords, and the rest is just location. I'm relying on people coming to the parking lot.
No kidding.
Because we have other restaurants and other businesses in the area, and they just come to the parking lot, and they hope one day they call us.
No kidding.
Hope and pray, man. That's my strategy.
Hey, I did the same thing. A wing and a prayer, baby. Come on. Yeah. What about, so tell me, what's like the latest equipment you bought in your practice? Anything?
So I got the Vatek Pansef 3D combo.
Okay, look at you.
That's really good. That's been helping. I really don't see myself doing a lot of implants. It's just one of the specialty in dentistry that it doesn't appeal to me. Even though my dad's got 14 implants in his mouth, was placed by a great specialist in the local area.
Beautiful.
But I love doing the restorative. I love doing the ortho and other aspect of it. The endo and the oral surgery is never, the implants have never really been my favorites over the years. Yeah. So the restorative, I love obviously creating beautiful smiles. I work with you guys on that.
Yeah.
Ortho, same thing. When you create a beautiful smile on a kid, it's just the joy and the easiness of working with it. So that's kind of where I focus right now. So a lot of my equipment that I'm buying these days are focused around ortho and restoratives.
What about scanning for impressions in the future?
I think at some point, we might be a year away. I want to get a scanner. I'm starting to dabble into Invisalign.
Okay.
I haven't really done any yet. I'm doing some research. I'm doing things. Is this something right for my patients? Do people need it? Obviously, everybody gets it. I'm in a different area where we don't have a lot of young professionals with a lot of small families. So, a lot of these kids are 5, 10, 9, 12, 13, 15 years old is bulk of my patient base. So, obviously comprehensive ortho is much more thing, but eventually I'll probably get a scanner that can do both. That you can
absolutely.
scan for the trays and also scan for the crown and bridge. Do you guys you guys are using scanners now, aren't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, we love them, and it's just an amazing thing for the impressions, and it's just something. We're big, we love iTero, 3Shape, True Def. I mean, pretty much all of them we're using. We're up to about 10-15% of our work's coming in that now digitally. Where it's just I think so accurate.
I'll probably look into that in a year or two.
We'll let you know as prices.
I'm one of the. I didn't mean to cut you off, Sean. I'm one of those dentists that, as much as I love technology, I don't like financing.
Exactly. No, you're lean and
when
mean.
I want my NSF, I have to be able to write a full check up front for me to buy an equipment, or I just tell myself, hey, there were dentists out there in 1960s put a gold crown that's still in service today.
Exactly.
They did something without all this technology. So the workmanship is the number one, no matter technology. Technology does help make it easy, and it's beautiful. Technology is great, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, you can't discount the operator.
Exactly.
Operator is still the most important thing in our field. Same thing with the lab. Lab can have the greatest technology, but the people working in your lab is not great. The crowns are not going to be good.
Exactly. That's so good. I love it. That's where I was going to ask you, what are some of the do's and don'ts in your profession? And I think you just hit it on the head, man, especially, and you're still pretty young out, but man, you got your head on straight with, unless I could pay for it, I'm not getting it. And it's going to help me on my bottom line, make me more money. Probably not to get those. I mean, it's going to help you practice a little smarter, but at the beginning and, first 10, 15 years, just get in the trenches and do your work. And like when you're in anything, 15, 20 years, then like same thing with me, my first 10 years, 2002 to 2012, I didn't make a cent. I mean, we paid the bills and that was it. And all our loans all our loans got paid off at 2012. I mean, it was like 8-year loans. I got them in 2004 when we built out, and I got $1.7 million in loans and small businesses, SBA loans. And you made nothing, but it comes to you after that. You got to put your time in and don't buy. And I bought CAD CAM machines before the time was right. And those things, $100,000 each, and, get 3 or 4 of those. And, in a year or two, they're worth nothing. And this technology, I mean, you live and learn. And we were pretty frugal, the early years, and very frugal. And then when we started to buy some things, we even started a little too early, like wait on that stuff, wait on it. And, and at the end of the day, is it going to make you more money right now to have that? Or is it just going to be a burden on cost? And like you said, it's the practitioner, the old school guys that are in the trenches, doing amalgams and cutting crown preps and using polyvinyl or polyether. It still works, baby, and it's still there.
Well, I always look at it this way. I'm a more practical guy, and you're right. I'm a more practical guy. I'll tell you this, great story. It also, when you're poor and you're realistic, you justify it this way.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, 2007 iPhone launched, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had some students in my class whose daddies were dentists, and it's nice to have a dad who's a dentist. Trust me, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They get their iPhones, right? And things like that. There's like 5 guys in the class who have iPhones. Nobody else has iPhones. Everybody else is still using. They are the early adopters.
Yep.
But the thing is, do they really have an advantage, or do they really have anything? 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, 11, 12 is when it started to become more mainstream, and everybody still caught up to them. So literally, the early adopters they took maybe a risk, and if the technology faded, like those BlackBerry people,
Yep.
you really have to learn everything new all over again, right?
Exactly. I had that Motorola flip phone, you know.
Yeah.
You
My
pull the
point is
antenna.
that, how many waterless dentists out there? How many people who have something that's just a door opener?
Exactly.
It's when a new technology comes. I love technology, but at the end of the day, that is the trust but verify type deal, where I trust that things are going to get better with that. It's going to get ease. It's going to be better for the patient long term. But on that S curve, if you're on that S curve, I wait for that curve to turn a little bit, and then I'm joining people. I don't want to be too far behind the curve, but I also don't want to be, right at the beginning. I'm not the
smart.
That's my personality too. I'm not the guy that ever says, like, show me the money or show me the proof.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't tell me what it can do. Tell me when it's done.
Exactly.
Show me what it's doing right now. Don't tell me what it can do.
Good job. No, that's good. Good advice there. So what about for CE? What do you do? You go to any dental conventions or gatherings? Tell me a little bit where you kind of get your CE and maybe any practice management courses you've taken. Tell me a little bit about that if you could.
I have taken 0 patient practice management courses to this day, and I probably won't take any. Not that I don't see a value in it. The problem is practice management is that I, by mistake, I went to a Dallas convention and they were talking about practice management, and the people who were giving the course, I only listened for 20 minutes in some dental town, and not nothing against it. It's a job that they have to do.
Yep.
But I am a dentist. Number one, I'm a businessman. Number two, but I'm not a salesman. Mm-hmm. I have nothing to sell.
Good for you.
I have people to educate. Yes, I want to manage my practice, so that part. But I feel like I am much more of a common sense guy. Could somebody come in and ramp up the revenue a little bit more? Yes, but may not be the right way of treating my patients.
Yep.
We use a lot of patient practice management software. We use Yapi for automatic appointment setups, so for texting, online forms, things like that.
Yep.
We're very heavy technology in that way. But no, we're not. My number one philosophy from day one, I tell my staff, I tell my patient care coordinator, we tell the patient, hey, this tooth needs a crown. Why it needs a crown. We educate them how they can prevent so they don't need crowns and other teeth over time. Mm-hmm. And we give them a treatment plan. We tell them, when you're ready, call us. We don't ask them to make an appointment. We don't do anything. We just ask them to make a 6-month cleanings just to keep them on recall. Everything else they want to do is their choice. We're all adults. Unless the kids are involved, I really stress the parents that, hey, this needs to get done. But when it's an adult, we educate, give you a treatment plan. You never get a call from us. You never call and say, hey, you came in 6 months ago, you still haven't scheduled that crown. Yeah. We don't do that. I have friends who do that, and nothing against it, but I always believe in myself that I'm a dentist, I may be a businessman, I'm an educator. My job is to educate people and guide them toward the right decisions for their health and for their well-being.
Beautiful.
I've called countless people out over years because they can't afford it, or they need money put in elsewhere for root canals and crowns to keep their teeth clean first before they get veneers on the front teeth, things like that. But my job is, again, to educate. So I don't do a lot of practice management C. I do a lot of C's that are for clinical side. And even though I'm a pretty good businessman, I feel like I do like to teach myself enough. If I'm working on people's mouth, they're putting the trust on me. It's my job to make sure I am extremely well trained in those particular arena to do the best job I can possible.
Beautiful.
Because they're paying me a lot of money, and it's my job to do right by them, because they don't know what the difference between a Chinese crown or an American-made crown is. And the thing is, it's a sign of the times. At some point, the pendulum may swing back. We don't know where we are. And that's the reason I opened the second office, to buffer myself with the huge patient base. If something were to change drastically in our profession, at least I wouldn't get caught red-handed at age 45, 50, and then be like, what do I do for 10 more years?
Oh, man, you're going to be fine. And I have a feeling you'll probably get another practice or two, and you're going to probably be selling out by the time you're 50 to some young dentist that wants to come and get those practices from you.
Yeah, the goal is age 52. If I'm not out by 52, means I did a lot of things wrong.
Nah. Hey.
As much as I love dentistry, still, the back and neck will probably take its toll by 52.
I know. There's a lot of stress that a dentist takes on his wrists and head and neck, and it's tough, man, being hunched over with those people all day, every day, man. But, well, doctor, I can't thank you enough, man. I love it where I don't have to talk too much and the doctor just talks and tells us how it is, baby.
It's probably because I talk a lot, but hey, nice talking to you, Sean. I hope to see you, and you guys do great work. And I always tell, as much as I like you,
yep.
If your lab starts doing bad work, I'll probably switch. But I haven't had a reason to switch.
Hey, no, you'd let us know.
My point is that I can like a person and still not like their work.
No.
But you guys have been doing so great. I mean, I hope to never use another lab in my entire career.
Oh, I love hearing that, baby.
Okay?
And
so yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, what you guys doing, crank out the great work, and I hardly ever have to worry about it on the lab side. That's the one thing I never have to worry about.
Oh,
we send stuff out, stuff comes back, it fits when we put it in the mouth, and I literally mean I cement my crowns in less than 5 minutes, 98% of the time.
So beautiful, man. We got to drop the mic on that, Dr. Ramoliya.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
easiest crowns it's ever. It's awesome what you guys do. Obviously, it's our job as a dentist to give you the best impressions, so your lab techs can do the right work. But no, you guys are doing phenomenal work, so I appreciate you guys.
Oh, beautiful, man. Thank you so much. I know you got to get back to work. Thank you. God bless you and your family, man. And anything you need, you let me know. You got my cell. You call me. You tell me anything you want, and I'm there for you, baby. I'll take care of you for sure.
All right, Sean. Talk to you later.
All right, dude. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dental Up Podcast Show this week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or search the Dental Up Podcast on iTunes for our weekly feed. Don't forget to visit KeatingDentalArts.com/promo for exclusive offers. Keating Dental Arts is a full-service dental laboratory, and we're nationwide. We'd love for you to send us a case so we can show you the Keating difference. If you dig what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes, and we'll be back next week.